first map, and now they just think that I'm Swedish, or you're saying my name wrong or something. There was an ongoing joke in map number 1 about what to call me.
We don't need to
And
explain
we
it.
agreed on Joshua.
We can just go Joshua. We can just call you random stuff at
I
the start.
didn't mean to. All right, fine.
Let people figure it out as we go.
Whatever, creamer.
Yeah. Here's the thing though, creamer is something people accidentally genuinely do. Like, if
I know.
if I do Joshua, then it's very clearly not what your name is. Whereas now people are going to see creamer and think, creamer, definitely. And yeah, maybe one day they'll hear creamer and go, no, that's wrong. It's creamer. What? I heard his commentator say that. His co-caster say that.
Yeah, but sometimes people call me like Iman J, but obviously.
You hear Iman J?
Yeah.
If people do that beyond help.
Yeah, because it's literally an E. If it was Iman J, it'd be an A for a start, and I don't know why you'd put so much emphasis on the E. But yeah, anyway, as we get underway here in the third and final map of this series, of course, we see Young Ninja starting off on this CT side. They're very strong on Mirage. It's a good map in their pool, but can they deal with HNS hitting headshot like that? Fasher following up on Tafuzi, and the A site open for business as the C4 goes down, and Lyngby Vikings get off to a good start.
Well, they do, looking really strong right now as they leave Young Ninjas in a position of a retake. They do have someone on the flank to try and help out, but it's a bit of a delayed attack. Flash to CT allows some follow-up aggression, with Raul spotting out the player in ramp. He's able to shut down Manon over in CT. HNS good for another. Nilo's able to finish the job onto one man, but Zalo moves his way forward. I think this does leave a quick little dispatchment and a pistol round for Lyngby Vikings. Beautiful shot from Nilo there. Is he able to find a few more? Well, he's going to have a crack at it. Anikas will eventually finish the job. And for Lyngby Vikings, that'll be a first.
Well, HNS. Look at this round. Such a brilliant round from him. The opening kill, finding another as well, just to cement that victory. I think Lyngby have been really consistent with their pistol rounds throughout this series. Obviously, we've seen 5 of them now. I can't remember the outcome of every single one, but I remember them winning them on Train, and then I think they won both of them on Train, in fact, and over on Vertigo as well. I remember them winning at least one of the two, so they're fairly strong with those kind of rounds. Now going into the second, though, Young Ninjas, they've got a decent force up. We see the pistols. We see Nilo jump straight into a FAMAS bar off the back of finding a couple of kills last round. Fuzi, instead of just trying to escape with his life, he tries to fire off the shots, can't connect. Nilo's only good for one, and it's just a complete bloodbath. Young Ninjas walk straight into the blender. They find one kill, and I think that'll be it.
Yep, that it will be. Nilo, the last man left standing, 1 versus 4. He'll be quickly killed and summarily executed. And I tell you what, Josh, do you see a universe in which Lyngby Vikings win this?
What, the game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what to say anymore. I thought this was going to be 2-1, but I thought this was going to be 2-1 at the very start when I felt that both teams would take their own map picks. I was expecting Lyngby to win Vertigo. I was expecting Young Ninjas to win Train. And then I was expecting Young Ninjas to come out on top here on Morale. But the fact that they took each other's map picks just kind of skews the whole thing for me.
Yeah.
I did see Young Ninjas on Mirage the other day. They were pretty good on it. That was the series against K23 where it went to crazy rounds. To go the distance against a side like K23, whilst they did lose it in the end, it's fairly impressive. And it shows that they are quite good on Mirage. Hopefully we're not in for another 80-round game, but I'm not filled with masses of confidence, to be honest. After what we saw on Train, given the fact it was their map pick, I'm a little bit shaky. My opinions of this series have changed a little since the start.
Understandably so. Moving forward, we do have a quick little kill with Bird from Sky shut down Sapek. For the Seco, you know, maybe a few kills here or there would help out, but it's all swings round about silver linings and kind of missed warnings for the Young Ninjas. As they push their way forward, it's just a matter of quickly holding, letting this kind of go through, and moving on to their buy round, which is really where we see the true mettle of either side tested.
Yeah, these ecos don't really bear any fruits. Of course, they have found a kill onto Anikez there. It's not necessarily a retrievable rifle, so They're just looking for further exits. If they can find one more kill here, this would be a really successful eco. But it doesn't look like they're going to be able to. As the Lyngby Vikings, they're going to go out hunting. They're not going to go exiting out of the positions that are vulnerable, though. And Nilo, as he darts his way up short, maybe he could catch one out. He's making a lot of noise, though. HNS hears him, spins around, hits the headshot. Fuzi saves a USP and nothing more, and won't be able to get himself any kills towards the end there either. Solid stuff there from Fuzi to find that opening headshot, but from that point forward, it all went downhill. 3-0. This is the Young Ninjas buy round. This needs to be where they turn up. And honestly, I think that the lack of performance over on Train, I don't want to put it on any particular member because it was just a team effort that wasn't going their way at all. But looking at LNZ, who had a major impact on Vertigo, one of the harder hitters on this team, really didn't show up all too much on Train. I don't think anybody really did. And when that's happening, you're in trouble. Fuzi, brilliant opening pick there. Loved the aggression. Even while the boost's in play, he's able to dismantle it. With a man advantage, they might be able to pull this back.
HS, pretty good player to kill as well. Someone who really woke up on Train and definitely got a bit of mileage in this map so far as well. So, nice little kill. Should give them a bit more of a bonus as they continue to push their way forward. But looking over towards the players over at Young Ninjas, this is a fairly passive hold. They don't really fight for mid. But for Lyngby Vikings, as they are fanned out around towards B, they get ready for this initial attack. Nothing's come just yet, and as we do await for this attack, Lyngby Vikings, they spring the trap. Sapek will spot it out. He'll deploy that volley. Through the volley, he dinks down there from Sky. Can't finish the job, though. Fuzi certainly can. His second of the round now found. And as LNZ sits back down towards bench, he'll be ready to hold any attack that comes towards B. Shots ring out either way, though. And as the attack comes through, LNZ, he's got an eat and aid for this process. As Ralph tries to make a bit of noise, he tries to push forward. But as he does so, he's at risk of being killed himself. There are players back site who are going to continue to hold. 35 seconds left. There's the first kill. LNZ to full. Is there a trade by Manon? He's desperately looking for one, but he still hasn't been able to kill. Eventually, he does, as Bar from Sky falls. It's all on to Anarchez. 1v3, surrounded on all sides, and quickly dispatched. It's the first round for Young Ninjas as they look to really open up on their map pick.
Well, big openings, big round for them. Did, of course, come incredibly close, but they got that retake done before that bomb went down. That's always the most powerful way of taking a site back by the reins. 3-1, Young Ninjas looking to claw their way back into this one. They do have to face up against another full investment, though, with Lyngby Vikings finding 3 early rounds in a row, and quite convincingly, too. They're in quite a powerful position where they've got plenty of money behind them. We do see the flash come out A, but Nilo opens things up with a nice headshot.
They push their way forward. HNS, that trade keeps it even. Fuzi comes out on top once again. Scope 2 is going to look to continue it. Fuzi, a great opening from him here. And as flashes continue to pepper his position in CT, Fuzi, he's still hungry for more kills. Anarchez on CT. He's posted to try and catch out one of these members, but as he's spammed down so low on HP, Rouse and Anarchez, both with a angle ready on CT. Fuzi, he'll shift his way forward. He'll be trying to duel Rouse where he can. Rouse with the what would be left-sided peak means he does have a bit of an advantage. But with LNZ there to assist him, it may not matter at this point. Time is of the essence, and as the first player falls, it's back and forth of LNZ. That's a beautiful, beautiful spray control. As Young Ninjas, they make it 2.
Really solid stuff there. All of the kills coming through. LNZ, I've no idea how he hits these spray transfers. Such a strong player. Really, really unstoppable. Now 3-2. This would be a last hurrah kind of buy here for Lyngby Vikings. If they cannot win this round, they'll be on an eco in the next, and Young Ninjas will actually be able to take the lead. So really, really solid stuff. As we see, a decent buy here from the Young Ninjas. Not great on that part, though, either. Couple of FAMASs, lack of utility. Fuzi finding that opening pick, though, definitely gives them a big advantage.
That it does. And for the Lyngby Vikings, with one man down, they're going to have to make up for it with players pushing their way forward from under. Getting ready to hit towards his position in con. It's only shift their way ahead, but the main attack will be from Rousing towards Palace. It's Messi and Zapex able to kill him. 3 players left standing now as they come up from con. Fuzi good for Anarchez now. 2 players left standing. Manon's acutely aware of where they'll be. It's all onto Fascia, and he should be quickly killed. That's he not white, as Manon can't quite find the kill instantly, but Fasher certainly can. Just like that, Young Ninjas, they keep it equal, 3-3. They force Lyngby Vikings down to pistols.
Down to pistols indeed. I think it's actually just going to be an eco here. The $2,900 loss bonus. Maybe we see a couple of P250s come out, something like that. I can't imagine we see Kevlar. I can't imagine we see anything too crazy. And with it, we see a little bit of Kevlar on Bird from Sky and Fasher, actually. Still should be a really clean round here, though, for the Young Ninjas. And interestingly, those FAMASs last round able to upgrade into an AK. Really, really powerful when you can kind of pull that one off. And we kind of go back and forth. This got off to a really good start for the Lyngby Vikings. I think a lot of people were already favoring them. Now we're back level pegging again. And it's really anybody's game for the taking.
They push their way forward. We see a fairly passive hold from the Vikings with what we... Again, a couple of pistols here or there. Maybe looking for a bit of a jump on towards the safe side. Not that it really matters with the 2 kills towards under, though. Nilo, good for 1. Turns around 180. Can he make it 2? He's got Manon to support him. And, well, both members bring the Young Ninjas that round, as they now lead 4-3, forcing Lyngby Vikings into a really, really tough spot. And well, there you have it. What we're saying, of course, is that, yeah, really strong round from Young Ninjas. Only 2 players taking damage means their economy works wonders. And for the Vikings, as they kind of position themselves ready for mid-control, Young Ninjas just not challenging them for it.
Well, HNS waiting patiently. Manon on the other side of this corner. If he swings here, he might be able to have that element of surprise. HNS's crosshairs in the wrong position. He'll need to readjust it as he starts to walk up. He's not clearing his hard right corner, but Manon only good for the dink. Can't finish him off. A lot of damage dealt, and to be honest, an AK trading onto the MP9, taking a lot of damage from the duel. Fairly even stuff. LNZ needs to go big here, though. Tucked behind the smoke. He's got such a powerful position. He's not been spotted by the Apps players just yet, but as Rouse drops, LNZ has to fire off shots. He's taken down. The AWP misses, and Lyngby should be able to make this 4.
Push their way forward. Let's see who's able to come out on top with Fuzi. Trying to hold firm. Scoped in towards Apps, looking for the aggression. Instead, the follow-up will be Rouse. He's the man to watch out for, and he goes for the peak. Stapek shuts him down. Now things suddenly look a bit hot and heavy for the Lyngby Vikings on this defense. Need to try and trade as they do so. We've got Fasher good for 1 though. Through the smoke, Nilo's able to trade once again. But from Sky going for timing now. That bomb is sticking down pretty damn quickly though. Fasher, can he make up for that, considering having him fallen? Fuzi, last man left standing at a time. Allows Bird from Sky to quickly just finish the job by the means of survival. Both players full. Maybe Vikings make it 4. They equalise, and they force Young Ninjas back down to a reinvestment. Luckily for the Young Ninjas, they can afford it.
Just about, yeah. Fair amount of money behind them, so we will see a full investment come through for them. 4-4, AWP on Fuzi. Actually, a double AWP as well. Manon going for one of his own. He buys himself a helmet, which is not a bad investment, given the fact that Lyngby have got 2 MAC-10s and a Galil in play. Everybody else without that luxury might find themselves subject to a 1-tap from a MAC-10. Minute 35, and Lyngby, they've already taken control here towards the apartments, but as they peek, Manon's good for the first.
Ooh. So push their way forward. This is interesting to see who's able to come out on top with what will be a... And he pushes towards this B site. LNZ forced forward. He's able to shut down Anarchist as he does so. Ready for the remaining members as they continue to lead this charge. But from Sky, unable to drop out of Apps just yet. He's still spamming the smoke trying to find this member. But because the bombers dropped, this is a really tough spot for the Lyngby Vikings. Luckily, they're able to get around the corner just in enough time to push forward towards this A site, which Sapek is going to be acutely aware of. Pushing into CT, he'll hear these players make their way forward. But Rouse, he's going on the aggressive. He's pushing forward. He spots out this member. Sapek to fall. If the Young Ninjas now, they're in a lot of trouble. The flash forward, something that puts LNZ into a tough old spot. He's able to get to CT though. Swinging forward, Rouse finishes the job on him, and right now Rouse just delivers them around.
Really, really huge stuff. As Nilo, he just has to fall away. He does manage to find himself that sniper. He'll carry that across into this next. Rouse somehow with 3 points of health, 3 kills to his name, comes out victorious. Ooh, comes away from that angle a second too late as well. If he'd have stayed on it, maybe he'd have found the shot. Maybe that's a blessing in disguise, though. Because had he missed, he maybe would have lost that orb.
Yeah, Nilo just not able to hold in time, and well, because of that, we are going to see a man advantage or round advantage for Lyngby Vikings. More importantly, a fairly poor buy from the young ninjas. This is not a pleasant spot to be in, to say the least.
It's really not, yeah. Very, very weak buy around Nilo's sniper. It's going to be essentially an eco. Everybody's saving that $2,000. You see Fuzi, LNZ, and Manon with no investment here at all. Sapak, who had a little bit of extra cash, goes for that CZ to smoke the Kevlar. They're going to try and hold this B site as they fortify it with 4 players, but the MAC-10s, they're just too strong. They walk in, they completely blitz it. And whilst Nilo's good for 1, Sapak will drop. Nilo might want to just save this AWP again. They certainly won't have money for 1 in the next, and that's already his game plan. Quicker thinker than I am.
Well, as they continue to push their way forward. It's now almost level pegging for Lyngby Vikings to lead 6-4. And for Manon, he'll try to catch out an odd AK on the exit. Maybe he can save it. But Bird from Sky, he'll make sure that doesn't happen. Considering Bird from Sky, who had a awful first map, he's really quite recovered, Josh.
Yeah, he really has. We kind of really... I don't think like we were too harsh on him. I mean, he literally had 0 kills in like round number 10 or something horrendous. He was having a really rough time. But yeah, he has done very, very well to kind of put himself back here. He cemented himself as one of the stronger players here in map number 3. He had a good time on map number 2 as well. And as we see some entry kill statistics, yeah, Bud from Sky's on there. 2 for him.
Yeah, really strong stuff. But Fuzi, he is a man, or Fizzy, as we've been told, is the man who is really sold to watch out for. I'm seriously impressed by him, and, well, let's see what happens for the remaining members of Young Ninjas now that they're moving into a bye, which kind of dictates the tempo of this half. And, well, they absolutely slaughter Lyngby Vikings. It's the first time in a while they fought for mid-control, and it works beautifully.
Really, really solid stuff. Just when I thought Lyngby Vikings might be able to steal the show and pull away like they did on Train, Young Ninjas come back with what is looking like it's about to be a flawless round. Now, you've got to remember, Lyngby, they've come for a bit of a weird bonus. It feels like they've been on a bonus round for like 4 rounds now, where they've still had these MAC-10s in play. Finally, they don't work. But it means HNS, yeah, he'll swap out to an M4. I'm not sure if he's going to save here. Maybe he tries to do some damage. He's got so much money in the bank, so have his teammates. If he does save, he can drop over to Rouse, though. So it does make sense.
That it does. And as we see aggression from HNS, we need to peek through and spot out this initial member where he can. For the most part, saving is an option, but for the rest of the Lyngby Vikings, they've got a fair bit of money, bar HNS himself and bar Rouse, but they can be dropped. So going for this wouldn't be out of the question. He has more money than Young Ninjas do, to say the least, and they're going to have to move into what will be some kind of scrappy force buy where they can. So for Lyngby Vikings, this is quite a positive spot.
Nice headshot there from HNS, but with 20 seconds left, there's definitely no point in him going for this. There's no way he'd be able to get that bomb and even get it round to a site in time without being challenged. So he will just fall away, save this M4. With $4,800 in the bank, him not getting any kind of loss bonus here won't cause him any major complications. He'll still be able to buy himself an AK armor full utility. He can drop this M4 over to Rouse, and everybody else can have just about whatever they want. You're right, with 7,500 on Bird from Sky and Fasher, they definitely could have dropped as well over to Rouse, but in fact they do anyway. That's bizarre. Yeah, Fasher drops him anyway.
That's bold, to say the least. Bold, and, well, at least he's getting his money's worth, to say the least. But the only man who has any money right now on Lyngby is Bird from Sky and Fasher. And Young Ninja's taking a look to try and deal with that. With Manon shutting down Anarchist. Beautiful shots, get things early on. And I think it was more shooting because he was shot rather than because he saw his own enemy there. And with that, he's laid down in the process. Nade on HNS does a fair bit of damage, and well, as he'll desperately attempt to make up for the man disadvantage, he'll do so with aggression towards under. As he swings wide, Sapek falls, there's the equalizer. Fuzi comes out on top, though. Fuzi ready for the re-aggression towards under, as he'll look to deploy that molly onto this member. Spots out, beautiful shots away HNS there, and this means he's able to get away. Really, really strong stuff, and as Rouse makes his way towards the safe site, he's going to have to try and re-clear onto Manon, but Manon, deep in Palace, is going to be almost impossible to take out here, at least silently.
Oh, man advantage here for the young ninjas, but we can see that when you add up the HP, Lyngby Vikings maybe with a slight advantage right now. Fuzi on 3 points of it, Manon on 18. That is slightly negated by the fact they've both got AWPs in hand, though. As you see LNZ up close to this TV. Might be able to catch out his opponents off guard. It all comes down to timing. He's going to hear them. And, well, as they try to double swing him, he's good for one before he drops. That's kind of perfect. As long as he can get himself that one kill there, then that's absolutely fine. If he dies before getting either, that's a problem. But Rouse, as he deploys this utility in mid, he's going to work his way up connector. The rotation's already on its way. And the man in Palace surely won't be anticipated, as Rouse has to dart on with very limited time on this clock. He goes to that bomb plant, and Manon's just going to swing out and finish him. Not even a chance to tap in those digits as we tie things up 6-6. And as you said before, Lyngby don't really have any money.
Down to an eco means they're in a fair bit of trouble now, Josh. Young Ninjas are mounting a bit of a comeback of their own, and realistically speaking, both of these sides, to say the least, have a little bit of a reliance on their T side. At least Young Ninjas do by quite a way. It's only about 5%, give or take, but that 5% tips them over the 50% win rate. Over towards Lyngby Vikings, they're pretty bad on either side. Sub 50% win rate on both sides means that right now, Young Ninjas, they're only just getting started.
Double AWPs in play here for the young ninjas. Over on Lyngby Vikings. Cannot say the same. Anarchist down to that scout, a MAC-10, a Deagle on Bird from Sky, and it's going to be completely dismantled. LNZ having a field day right now. 3 kills, almost the 4th. Rouse is able to find himself 1, but as he will momentarily be dropped, the man towards short. There's no contention in this round at all. That bomb down as well in the apartments. He can find himself 1 more. And damage here means a lot. You look at how much Young Ninjas have got in the bank. Finding those 2 kills onto Nilo and Sapek, they're going to struggle to reinvest into the next round.
You'll find as well, though, with only, past this round at least, with only 2 rounds left of the half, Young Ninjas, they're actually in a position where they don't need to play the long game anymore. They can go for some fairly groovy investments. You know, double AWPs don't really have the sting to them should you lose them, because, of course, they win this round, short's 14. They lose the double AWP next round, then they can just reinvest it. It's not the end of the world for them, and they're going to realise that, actually, they've got a bit of a sweet spot coming up here.
Keeping 3 players alive as well is perfect. If you keep 3 players alive, then any one of those 3 can drop the remaining 2, and you're fine. You recover off of it perfectly with no contingencies. If 3 players die, you only keep 2 guys alive, then it generally means in a scenario like that, that there'll be 1 player that has a weaker weapon. Right now, Fuzi, I love that he just always buys the jewelries as a secondary with that AWP. That's brilliant. We just saw those loot battles come up, and they're actually quite heavily favoring Young Ninjas now. Earlier on in the game, we saw them leaning towards the Lyngby Vikings. But as this is starting to slip away from them a little bit, we more than likely see Young Ninjas push themselves onto 8 right now. It's interesting. Nilo does trade out that one, brings it back into a 4-on-4, looking to double down, and he does so.
Manon, that is brave to go for the no-scope on the close angle. He's got Nilo to assist him as well, as Young Ninjas make it 8, as you said. Now, I see him getting 9 as well, and 9-6, this is really where we find a really awkward spot for the Vikings, which they're seriously going to have trouble with making their way out of.
Well, an AWP in hand here for Anarchist. They went for this eco, this save, so that they could pull it out in this final round of the half. 8-6. Lyngby looking to make it 7. The Ninjas looking to make it 9. Definitely could go either way.
Fuzi, I think he spotted out that initial player towards me. He hadn't reacted to it just yet, though. And as we have this brief lull, let's see who's able to come out on top with Fascia. Shifting his way forward. Smokes go down. Util goes out towards Con. And as the molly lands in kind, let's see what Lyngby Vikings can hope to do now as they push their way forward from under. We've got Young Ninjas fanned out round the board who, from here, have definitely got a tough spot ahead. For the Lyngby Vikings, they're going to get ready for this initial attack. And for Young Ninjas, this is going to be a tough one to recover from, to say the least.
I'm not sure of the context because I've just opened Twitch chat for the first time in a little while again. Someone's asking what parlay means. Isn't that pirate's code? Isn't that bring me to your captain?
No, Josh. A parlay is a French word. It's an actual thing, and
it is also pirate's code, though.
It is pirate's code. It is pirate's code.
Pirate's code that they honor that says they don't kill you until they bring you to the captain.
So a parlay is to, if you were to parlay with someone, is to have a truce. Usually it's like a truce, so you can negotiate essentially.
Same thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It pretty much is. It's again for pirate's code, as you did. It was say captains. A lot of the time in battles, if you won, you would still have your ship destroyed beyond repair. So parlay is the kind of meet and go, okay, all right, let's be honest. I've lost. Let our ships live, and we'll just give you your stuff and go separate ways. And that's genuinely the consensus. But yeah, that's what a parlay is, if you guys are interested. I'm not 100% sure it's a French word.
Fair enough. That's not what they're talking about. Apparently it's some betting site or something.
Oh,
parlay
right.
is made to bet. Right, yeah. I mean,
Right.
I knew it. I knew they weren't talking about pirate's code. I was kind of just messing around a little bit, but...
Oh, right.
Yeah, parlay betting on multiple matches with combined odds. All right, you learn something new every day.
I thought that was an ACCA or an accumulator. That's what I thought that was. Like maybe we have different terminology in England.
Either way, 9-6, Young Ninjas. They have really pulled the
round
one
worth
back nicely, haven't they?
nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, guys. Oh, I do apologise. As Young Ninjas, they goes this round with just a single smoke and flash. Smoke deployed instantly. For Lyngby Vikings, it's that smoking kit over to Bird from Sky. As the comms float boat goes through, we push their way forward. And, well, for Young Ninjas, this is going to be a window dive. I love this strat so much. A window dive towards this B site. The CT player is going to have to react to it pretty quickly. Fuzi's able to shut out an initial member. Russell behind able to get one as well. Bird from Sky finishes the job. It's all on Zapek in a 1 versus 3. And I think for Fascia, this should be a quick little dispatchment. The Zapek does fall, but I tell you what, I love the strat. I love it so much, Josh.
I like the ambition behind it, the passion, charging into that B site, but, well... 9-7, Lyngby winning that pistol. There's a good chance they can take this back 9-9 now. The much stronger investment. Young Ninjas, of course, didn't get that bomb plant in the first round, so it is just going to be pistols. Sapek can pull out a Galil. That's about it. Fuzi just about taking out that scout as well. See if he can give that for a spin. But if they lose round number 17, it'll be an eco in the next, and we'll be level pegging again.
So push their way forward. Rouse posts on the angle, ready for this attack. And for the most part, for Young Ninjas, this round would be great. But the reality is, I think for Lyngby Vikings, this is their ticket back into this game. And, well, I hope you're buckled in, Josh, because we may have another 8 overtime match ahead, especially if things stay this close. From Sky posted towards shot, deleted by Fuzi. As I say that, it's an absolute slaughter onto Lyngby Vikings. It's open season, and Lyngby Vikings are the cattle. With HNS the last man left standing, 1 versus 5. What on earth can he hope to do here?
I really don't know, but again, I saw somebody mention it. I mentioned it earlier as well. I don't think Young Ninjas have won a single pistol round in this series at all, but they've consistently followed up with these force buys. I kind of didn't think about it when they won that pistol. When they lost that pistol, I was thinking more to myself, oh yeah, they should just lose this next round. But yeah, they've won, they've lost every single pistol round, and then they've just consistently been winning the follow-up buys. We saw it on Vertigo. We see it again right here. There's a good chance that they just steamroll this now. That's kind of a worst case scenario when you're on that CT side you win the pistol, then you lose the follow-up. Now you're on double eco. They have no choice but to go into a really dodgy force here where they've just got deagles to work with. Because when you lose on the pistol round, you get a bit of a head start. You jump straight into a $1,900 loss bonus instead of that $1,400. And it means that, yeah, you can pull out a buy a little bit earlier. Whereas right now, it's a really, really shaky buy, and then it will be an eco in the next. And that can allow Young Ninjas onto 12 rounds before Lyngby can actually go for a proper investment.
Once the push goes forward, Blood from Sky go for one. Snapback there to trade, and that leaves a perfect opportunity for Nip to recover. They just delete everyone. Fasher, sure he's able to follow up onto LNZ, puts us into this one-on-one. Fasher ring out shots where he can against the AUG. He's definitely a disadvantage, but he's got the Deagle, and that comes out on top. Lyngby Vikings, they eco Young Ninjas there with a beautiful side of affairs.
Yeah, we go back and forth here, and just like we saw earlier, these two teams very closely contested. I mean, this is crazy. Neither team being able to pull away here and get off to a good start, establish any kind of gap on this second half. Young Ninjas, presumably they go for another buy here, given the fact that they won in their half buy. Now going into this 19th, they should have tons of cash behind them. You see the tech pause after losing a 1v1, and it kind of always makes you wonder, doesn't it? We've had tournaments where you have player cams and there will be a 1v1 and a player loses it, and then it switches to the player cam and you can just see like them cleaning up their desk or like holding a broken mouse and running around looking for a new one kind of thing. Not sure if that's the case here, but it's never just a coincidence that there's a tech pause after a lost clutch.
Yeah, that's really strong stuff. And I tell you what, for Lyngby Vikings, what on earth do they hope to do to recover? Because they've just been, frankly, destroyed. Pause comes through. And honestly, Josh, do you see Lyngby Vikings going back and maybe winning the series here?
Possibly. The issue is that going into this next round, they're still going to have a weaker buy than the Ninjas. Even after winning that, they have $3,400. They didn't have any money, and they only kept one player alive. So look, there you go. 2 MP9s, 2 FAMASs, and an M4, and they face up against a pretty full investment here from the Young Ninjas. AKs in, I think that's 1 Galil there. It's really difficult to tell when it's white on yellow, but there you go. Yeah, 4 AKs, 1 Galil. I think the Ninjas still come back in this round, to be honest. They seem to be better when they have the rifles out. Have to wait and see. Lyngby, they can play to the advantages of those SMGs, get them up close. Maybe they can do some damage with them. For now, though, they're playing from a distance, and Young Ninjas, they're able to establish a lot of control off of that.
So push their way forward. It's this brief lull as they are ready for this initial attack, and while we wait for Fuzi to shift his way forwards to try and come out on top here. I'll have to take this duel with HNS, and with Young Ninjas amping up for what looks like a bit of a wrap towards B. This kill onto HNS would be pivotal to their success, but HNS being fairly passive for the time being. As the swing goes wide, he's caught out instantly by Fuzi. That should spur on the attack. Here comes that initial assault. Over towards bench. Bird from Sky. He'll do what he can to try and hold, but as he peeks forward, he hasn't spotted out anyone yet. Eventually, he's able to kill the planter. That's beautiful. He's not quite able to double down, though, as it leaves it all onto Rowls. Good for one, but good for one for what avail, as we'll see LOZ quickly finish the job. Of Young Ninjas, that's 11. For Lyngby Vikings, what on earth can they hope to do from here, Josh?
I really don't know. I've just noticed people are pointing it out, and they are right to point it out as well. Currently, Anakez is 3-17. The author, the man that you're really looking to have a big impact here, especially on a map like Mirage, and he's just not doing anything. Very reminiscent of what we saw from Bird from Sky in that first map that Young Ninjas were able to quite convincingly take, and I think that that's worrying. When you have one of your heavy hitters not showing up on a first map, Young Ninjas win it. Then you go into the second map, everybody fires on all cylinders and things go your way. And then you go into the third and you have a similar situation where one of your best players just isn't turning up to the server at all.
Yeah.
Definitely puts doubt in your mind. Definitely starts to worry you. Rouse, though, great headshot to start things off. He's a man that's been consistently good throughout this series.
Yep.
As Fuzi carries 2 across, now a 3-on-3, and Young Ninjas, they have information.
That they do, pushing their way forward. Lyngby Vikings going to try and hold as best they can, but with only 2 Deagles, they've been unable to retrieve the rifles just yet, and because of that, they're being a bit more passive, so much that they're actually leaving this A site at just the worst possible time, and so they just get ready for this initial assault. I think for the players of the Lyngby Vikings, they're going to realise in just a moment that they've been completely bamboozled. They've been had, and they've been fed a complete fabrication. The young, well, Lyngby Vikings even, I think they're going to double down and maybe even stack short instead, completely ignoring the fact that a hit towards A is a possibility here. And as they realise it now, I think Blood from Sky looking over towards A, dreamily almost realise that actually they're in a tough spot. Lyngby Vikings now wrapping their way back towards the safe site. They've realised what's up, and with 20 seconds left, the Young Ninjas, they really ran down this clock, but they're able to get the plant anyway. Players in CT means that this duel onto HNS is going to be everything for LNZ. And as LNZ spots out the first man, is there a trade? Well, from Blood from Sky, they'll attempt to be. HNS able to finish off the next man, leaves it all onto Nilo. Nilo, 1 versus 2. Position forward, shuts down the first, turns around, looks for the second. Can't quite find HNS, who's able to come out on top, and just like that, Young Ninjas, they fall once again to the pistols of Lyngby Vikings, who now make it 11-9.
Another bizarre round that Lyngby didn't have a lot of equity in. They've managed to pull it off. And the Young Ninjas, they're going to be tilted. They're going to be really tilted that they've let that one slip. They don't really have money to come into this one with either, so we'll see an investment, but it's not great. Nilo on that AK. Mac-10 comes out on Manon. Pistols on everybody else. Oh, no, there is a Galil on the floor here for Fuzi, so he'll be able to pick that one up. Maybe a chance that they can try and make this happen. We have seen them do it previously. I don't want to fully count them out of it, but it's almost a shame when you see rounds just going back and forth like this. You don't get to see proper Counter-Strike where players pull out the rifles, they pull out the utility. We see rounds play out how they should. It's like really, really crazy buys with crazy strats to try and make up for it. And I mean, my goodness, look at that. What the hell is that from Manon? He's just jumped, killed HNS. Now they've traded evenly and taken the site.
Push goes through. Nilo good for 1. Is there a trade? Not quite yet. Eventually LNZ finishes the job. It's all on Rouse. Quickly killed by LNZ. Young Ninjas make it 12 as they extend their lead to 3 rounds now, forcing Lyngby Vikings down to another awful buy. And as they look to punish it further still, Lyngby Vikings are in an awful spot here.
Yeah, they really are. 12-9. That was their chance to try and string a couple together. And they've thrown it away. Round number 22. We do see a force buy come out here for the Lyngby Vikings. They're back down to the pistols. Aniker's on that M4A1S. To be honest, I'd like to see him drop that to somebody else. Being as least toxic as I can be, I think that he's probably better off dropping it over to Rouse, who could probably have more impact with it. And there you go. He just drops instantly. Doesn't do anything in the round. The M4 now in no man's land and unretrievable. And the AKs, they'll just blitz through these Deagles.
Rouse, that's a beautiful shot onto Fuzi now, and suddenly he bears a bit of equity. Able to pick up an AK means he's able to run away and look to hold this bomb. The smoke goes down though. The flash means that the reality is he's trying to just fight for his survival rather than for the round. Because he's just the other side of the smoke. As that bomb is retrieved, is he going to try and pressure them down? Having missed this opportunity, he's going to have to push forward from Con, and as he does so, leading his way forward, Rouse, knife out, spotted out. Is he able to survive? No, he's not. Manon shuts him down. And for Young Ninjas, they're going to prevail to make it 13 now. And at 13-9, Lyngby Vikings, they've got to force up.
I do wonder, where did NATO Safix go? He's not with anybody at the moment. Since leaving the Lyngby Vikings, he's not transferred anywhere. But while he was here, Lyngby were doing really, really well. They were kind of pulling their way into the top positions here in Europe. They were taking down some really good teams. They were having some great results. I'm really surprised that he's left and doesn't seem to have gone anywhere. He's not really doing anything else. I thought this would have been like a really cool project for him. and it was going really, really successfully.
That it was, and oh yeah, you said it perfectly. Let's see where they hope to go from here, because for Fascia, you know, I think for Fascia and Anikez, they haven't really made up for that differential, have they? Sorry, for HNS and Anikez, they haven't really made up for that loss, have they?
No, not really. No, I mean, of course, Christo, he was only on loan over from North, I think.
Yeah, North.
They had, did they have, I think he was like a real temporary thing. But yeah, when they had him in for a little bit, when Nature Safik stopped playing, that was really big. He had that kind of big impact as well. But it's just been weird. It's been weird since these roster changes. They're very clearly struggling, and it's a shame. I think they do need more real high impact players to come in. Of course, yeah, Christo was at North. He went on loan to AGF. Yeah, he was at North. He went on loan to AGF. He then came in and played with the Lyngby Vikings in the Fun Spark and things like that, just for a little while. And then he's gone as well. He's currently not really doing anything. I think he's just still an inactive free agent at North. It's bizarre. I think Lyngby really need to get in another high impact player, because at the moment they've got 5 great guys, but no one is putting up these big numbers. No one's matching that star-studded performance that you need someone like Nater Safix for, someone like Crystal for. And without that, they're really struggling.
That they are. I'll tell you what, they need a Flames, don't they?
Yeah, they need a Flames. Or just any other high impact player that you could name.
Well, for the Lyngby Vikings, these Pistols got a minute's toy with us. Young Ninjas go for this plant, and I don't know why they forced here. I don't. I would have liked to see an eco eventually go for a buy, but because they forced it, we see Young Ninjas hit 15. And more importantly, it means that they've got to force again while fighting for match point.
Well, they're making it work with these Deagles, but with 30 seconds left, only one kit on Fascia. They really need to keep track of where this kit is. If Fascia dies out of position, then that's something that's going to need to be retrieved. As the smoke goes on the C4, Fascia's going to jump straight on that defuse. LNZ, if he can spam through and try and deny this would be big. Spams away, denies the defuse. 10 seconds left. The kit's been picked up, I think. Yes, it has. And I think they're just on the bomb in the nick of time. A second to spare. The defuse, it will come through. Lyngby, they hold on by a very, very thin thread. And the force buy somehow successful. I don't know how both of these teams keep losing to Deagles, but ho-hum.
Ho-hum indeed, and right now, Young Ninjas, they're... Well, I mean, the bomb block means they're just able to reinvest, but that's 4 pistol rounds, 4 ecos the Young Ninjas have actually fallen to now. They just can't play against the Eagles, Josh.
Nor can Lyngby, it seems, though, because Young Ninjas have gone for plenty of wacky buys as well, where they've had Deagles or they've had like a couple of Mac 10s and things like that, and they've not been able to do much either. So it is just really bizarre. As the flashes come out on B, Nilo will burst out, fires off a couple of shots there towards the bench, and Mannon's here to support him too. Trades 2 for 2, but as HNS falls, that's the B side open for business. The retake's going to be coming in from mid and the apartment, but it's miles away. The bomb goes down with a man advantage and loads of time for these post plants. I think this almost certainly goes 15 for the Young Ninjas, and it will, as Lyngby Vikings, they make the save call. Fascia with such low health and an AWP retrieved, he doesn't want any more to do with this.
As Rouse and Fascia both cling to their weapons, Young Ninjas, they hit 15. Josh, this is really good for Young Ninjas. This is game winning, I suspect, because at Lyngby Vikings, they're just about to be reset. The only man who has money is HNS and maybe even Fascia. Luckily, Lyngby Vikings aren't being hunted, so at least they have an AWP and an AK next round, but yeah, what does the man in Lou do? Because HNS, he's going to have to invest for himself. Neither player of Lyngby Vikings can drop an M4, so maybe we see FAMAS's. It's not a pretty sight, to say the least.
It's not. It's not at all. This is Young Ninja's best chance to try and close. As Lyngby, they don't have a huge amount of money behind them. But with those 2 weapons that were saved, they've got something to work with. Bird from Sky, is there a gun on the floor? Yeah, it is. It's a FAMAS. But there's a weapon there for him. So we see the buy come out. It's not too bad at all. I've actually sort of underestimated it a little bit. It's better than I was expecting, with only 2 FAMASs being the contingency here. Everyone else has got the utility. They've got those premium rifles. They've got that AK as well, which is great. The only spot that they're really lacking is with that offensive utility. We see lots of flashes, we see lots of smokes, but with 2 HEs and 2 incendiaries, I always like teams prioritizing that offensive utility, try and get that early preliminary damage dealt, especially when you're on that CT side. You've got those M4s, you've got those FAMASs. If you can deploy some early nades, get a couple of their players down to 80 HP, then it negates any advantage that they have with that AK. And it's just really powerful getting that early damage in on the CT side. So I always like it when HEs are prioritized a little bit more, when those Molotovs come out more often, but we'll wait and see what they can do with this. I love the boost. Try and get Anikez into the B-apps early, but that's not going to be the plan. Young Ninjas, they burst into A.
Ooh. Well, round's good for 2. Nilo there to trade. Fashion to finish the job. Looks like we're going to see a 15-11 here, with what will be a follow-up aggression from Fuzi. Trying to come out on top, not as able to with Bird from Sky in the ninja position. I doubt it'll be cleared here. As Fashion shuts down Manon. It's all onto Fuzi. Quickly shot from behind. And for Lyngby Vikings, that's a very clean 11th.
There's no loss bonus. No loss bonus at all. So we'll see Young Ninjas come into this next round with a tiny bit of cash on a couple of these players, but definitely not enough to go for a buy. With Fuzi on double eco, maybe we see them buy up something, but I can't imagine they will. They go for a quick pause here to discuss what the plan is. I think it's definitely just worth ecoing into this one. Fuzi can buy himself a Galil in the next or something like that. That will allow Lyngby Vikings onto 10, of course. Then quite a lot will ride on that buy up. And it's a shame that there might not be an opportunity for Fuzi to have an AWP in it. I'm trying to work out if anyone could drop him one. Nilo maybe could, but he'd sacrifice himself having utility. And he'd probably pop himself down to a Galil. And it's not looking like he's going to go for it as he buys himself up a Deagle and Kevlar. Manon still could. We do see another timeout come in, though. My goodness. They want lots of time to talk.
I think Young Ninjas from here, I think we might as well just see eco. I suspect that's what we will see. An eco comes through. For Lyngby Vikings, if they get ecoed, what on earth does that happen? Like,
yeah, that would be like rough. That would add real insult to injury. One of my like favorite tweets is from a game. I think it was in one of the EDC games we did. It was Hellraisers versus somebody else. And I said it was 15-9 or something. Or I think it was even more one-sided than that. I think it was 15-7 or 15-8 or something. And the team on 15 had to drop down to an eco because they'd lost a couple of rounds. And I said, if they win it on this eco, wouldn't that just add real insult to injury? And then they did. They won it just with Glocks. They just ran onto A and they won. Yeah, I mean, this would be rough if Lyngby lost it here. But we do know that these Deagles previously have been able to pack quite a punch. The thing is that Young Ninjas don't have Deagles out. They have one on Nilo. Everybody else just on those P250s or Glocks.
I do. As they push their way forward, let's see who's able to come out on top with a few shots ringing out either way. It's a bit of a lull as the Ninjas go for early mid control and to shift their way forward from under. Sapek, he'll be looking to duel Fascia for this position. Instead, Anikis scoped in towards top mid, misses the shots. Backs away in time, though. He's not quite aggressed on just yet. And with a player into window now, he needs to be very careful as Anikis shuts down Sapek. There's the opening. Picks up the P250. Turns around in time, though, as Nilo looks to pressure down Anikis. Does he watch him in the nick of time? Nilo, oh, that's a sick shot to Fascia. He's able to double down as well. And the site's going to be secured for Young Ninjas here. The best case scenario for them is that they don't have an AWP. They don't have any weapons. But with a bomb down anyway, Young Ninja's actually going to make Lyngby Vikings sweat a bit here.
30 seconds on this clock. Of course, they're against unarmored opponents. They should just be able to blitz through this. But as you say, definitely sweating right now. They've got the kits. They've got time to make this work. Manon coming in from connector, trying to make a huge play, and no. If Bird from Sky wasn't looking, maybe he could have picked up that M4, made something happen. The bomb was planted safe, though, so wouldn't have been able to see it, and Lyngby would have won the round regardless. Still, a good amount of damage, and that bomb plant works wonders for them. We talked about the fact they didn't have a huge amount of money. They didn't have a big loss bonus. It was only sitting at $2,400. The fact that they're able to actually... the fact that they're able to get the bomb plant and get a couple of kills in that round just gives them that extra money. It gives them that extra $400 bonus. They get a couple of kills as well, gives them that kill bonus, and now they've got enough to go for a good investment. And Fuzi, he is actually on an AWP.
That he is. Scopes in on the angle. He's got Anikas to duel in mid, and, well, as Rouse goes aggressive towards ramp, he pushes forward. Spotted out by Manon, though. They'll deploy that switch to try and hide, but the Molly's going to force him into a really tough spot. Just able to survive as he backs away, but for Rouse, that is a scary point to say the least, and, well, a well-timed nade could be the end of him. Nope, falling to just 13 HP, as the remainder of Young Ninjas go for a very heavy control towards mid. Anikas on ticket booth is going to be quickly pushed off the angle by that flashbang, but it's all quiet for Young Ninjas as they congregate towards the top of B and get ready for this straight hit.
Could be the beginning of the end here for the Lyngby Vikings. This has been a hard-fought game, but Bird from Sky, it all falls onto his shoulders to defend this B side. Scoped in on the angle. Flash comes over the top, not going to connect with him. He shoots right onto Milo. Now the man advantage connects onto another. This is why Bird from Sky should be on this, or because he hits his shot, and it's absolutely perfect. Calls in for the support from HNS. Not only does he find kills, but he buys time for that retake. And LNZ, now in a 1-on-4, realistically looking to just survive here. But if he survives, then it messes up the money completely, because Young Ninjas won't have enough to buy into the next anyway. LNZ will have a hero AK. They probably won't win the round. And then going into what will be round number 30, he won't have any money.
This is a really tough spot for Young Ninjas, actually. They might let us go to overtime. This genuinely might go to overtime, Josh. We're blown away if it does, because right now, Nilo is having a great game.
Yeah, he really is. I'm glad LNZ died there. If LNZ doesn't die, then he really does kind of screw himself over a little bit when it comes to the money side of things. He'd much rather just fall in a scenario like that. Eco here, not have a hero AK in this scenario, and make sure that his money's balanced and that he can buy up with the rest of his team in the next. 15 to 13. If they could get it done with the pistols, it would be crazy. If they can't, they're playing round number 30 to try and take this over the top. And the Lyngby Vikings, they'll have a shot at overtime, but with the 1-for-1 trade to kick things off, Fuzi's dual Berettas get something done.
Well, as they push their way forward, Fashion the first man to fall. Bird from Sky trying to aggress as well. He turns around at the nick of time, able to shut down yet another, but Sapek, he's picked up that AWP. He's going to look to try and push towards B. However, HNS to finish the job, allows a bomb plant to happen from Manon. Sure, that helps. Silver lining. And as everyone starts to push towards him, HNS, quick little kill, quick little round, goes 15 to 14. We're at the absolute final round, Josh. Does this go to overtime?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Young Ninjas, they've looked good in these last couple of rounds that have... Well, in that round there, at least, there was essentially an eco. They found a couple of kills. They got the bomb plant. It was very successful. Now going into this next, I think consistently the Young Ninjas have been really good in these high-pressure situations where they kind of have to win the round at converting, at delivering. They're going to call a quick pause before we go into this one. I'm not sure who's called for this pause, but we know there's one there. It's of a tactical nature. Lyngby, potential for overtime. Young Ninjas, though, I feel like they've been the better side today. Maybe we just go to multiple OTs. Maybe we go to 7, 8, 9. Maybe this is our chance, Kremer, to put ourselves in the Counter-Strike record book.
What for having? What's the record? Is it 9 OTs or 10?
I don't know how many OTs it is in particular. It's actually Zenex hold the record. Interestingly, you know the UK team.
Yeah.
Back in 2015 in ESL Premiership, they had a game that went to 88 rounds.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was against Infused or Epsilon or someone like that. But yeah, it's bizarre. Happened right here in the UK. And it's not been broken for 5 years, or 6 years now. 6 years.
UK #1.
That's what we're good for. Except we're not known for it at all. Even I didn't know about it.
It's ZX versus Easy Skins. That was it. And Anikez now pushing forward. We've got Sapak going for mid control, and Anikez, now he's woken up. That's a bit scary for young ninjas, to say the least. As well, scoped in. There's LNZ to fall, who aggresses before his smoke blues. Bit of a mistake on his part. And for Sapek, control towards jungle, not quite attainable just yet though. As the young ninjas, they get ready for this hit towards A. They've got players who are kind of wrapped around the whole position now. But Birth from Sky also scoped in. He's going to make sure that no one's able to hold this position in jungle. Window hard cleared by the reaggressment of Fuzi. Meaning that for Lyngby Vikings now, a man up. Going to look to hold. Fasher shutting down Manon in Palace. Is going to spur on the bomb as well in Nilo. Nilo needs to hit the shot onto Rouse, otherwise it's round over and we're going to OT. Anikez ready for Fuzi towards short. Timing doesn't favour him. Eventually he gets the kill. And young ninjas, they are being really shaky right now. They're just not clearing one another. They're not watching angles they should be. And Sapek, with 35 seconds left, pushes his way towards CT. There's still a player in Palace to worry about. Anikez, he falls, but as I mentioned, how do you clear Palace with this little time left? Sapek is ready for it. As the plant goes down, he's actually going to hold for it. He'll cover his teammate. There's the tap, there's the swing. It's a back and forth, it's a to and fro, but for Sapek, he's got to clear CT. Bird from Sky finishes the job. We're going to OT, Josh, and for young ninjas, that is a complete and utter failure to close out the map there.
I mean, in the 3-on-2, they play it well because they play together. They play off of each other. The reason that young ninjas had success in their eco rounds is because they were playing together. They were playing coordinated. I'm not saying that a mid-rush was the answer for the final round, but in that eco, they pushed mid, they traded, they found the kills, they got the bomb plant. It was good. Whereas in that final round, they split up into a default, they over-aggressed, they took loads of one-for-one duels when they didn't really need to, and they just got picked apart one by one. They found themselves in a 5-on-2 scenario, like 20 seconds into the round, and that was it. It's bizarre. It's really weird the way that they change their play style when they've got the rifles in hand as opposed to those pistols. And I think for a round like that was kind of a must-win, they needed something more than that. They needed to play together. That default obviously wasn't working.
Well, first round of OT, we see a bit of a faster hit, and some flashes go down. Here's that hit towards B. Nilo to lead the charge. He knows it's going to be placed towards bench. HNS good for one before the trades go back and forth. With Manon coming out on top, good for two of his own. He'll go through the smoke to look to make it 3. He even spots out these players on short. He brings out so many shots, but Fasher just didn't react. And, well, for ninjas, for the young ninjas that is, this is a perfect spot. We've got Sapak ready for the aggression. He spots out the first man. Can't finish the job, though, leaving Bird from Sky to 1 versus 3. As he leads this charge, Manon finishes the job. It's Fuzi actually to get the kill. And for young ninjas, 16 to 15. Where was that 2 rounds ago, Josh?
Yeah. I don't know. And you say, where was that 2 rounds ago? Where was that in any of the last, like, 6? I mean, it was 15-9 or 15-10 or something like that at one stage. And, you know, he let it slip quite a bit. It's always bizarre to see, isn't it? Especially when, like, economy's not the problem. They lose a load of rounds, and then when they go into OT and the pressure's off, then they start to win them. I think that's partially what I saw the other day against K23 as well. When the pressure's on, they'd lose the round. When they were on match point, they'd lose the round. But then they'd pull it back to... Bless you. My goodness. They'd pull it back to another OT. It's spring, Kramer. I can't stop sneezing. Hay fever. It's crazy.
I feel it, man. I forgive you. I'm not sure there's anything to forgive, but whatever it is, it's all right, man. It's okay. I understand. The UK, we're pretty bad when it comes to hay fever, aren't we?
We've got lots of pollen.
Are we bad for it? In the UK? Are we bad for it? Is there any country that's known for having bad hay fever, or am I just being dramatic? I think I'm being dramatic, Josh.
No, I think we're bad for it. Because
we
have loads of like farmland and pollen, and I don't know. I don't even know where it comes from. I'll be honest, but I reckon if it's super hot, like if you're like in the Caribbean, I bet you don't have a load of people in the Caribbean just walking around sneezing with hay fever. I bet that doesn't happen. No way.
Do you want to go? Well, they don't have any flowers in Antarctica. Well, they don't have as many in, say, the UK as they do. Okay,
then. Well, all the cold places don't have it. All the super hot places probably don't have it because they're tropical plants and they don't make you hay fevery, I don't think.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go somewhere where there's not
Probably Malta.
Holland.
I doubt they have it in Malta. Right, Northern Europe have it all over. Yeah.
Oh, we sorted them.
Never saw it. It's Northern Europe. Just go to Malta.
Yeah, get out of it. Go somewhere hot or super cold. One of the two. Either one of the extremes. I'm in the UK, too temperamental anyway. I've got
What
a
do you
wardrobe
consider
full of.
super hot as well? Because I think for anywhere else, super hot is like the Sahara, like actual deserts. For us, super hot is like a sunny day in Eastbourne, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I was in Mexico a couple of years ago, and it was during like a crazy heat wave, and it was like 115 Fahrenheit, which is like
bloody hell.
41 degrees or something crazy, and it was like
Jesus.
too hot. It was like obviously way too hot, like deathly hot.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think I could handle that, not on a daily basis. That was so hot that you have to just sit in an air-conditioned room and like drink ice or eat ice. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't go that extreme. But somewhere that's not as cold as here would be lovely.
That would be quite nice, wouldn't it? Well, HNS good for once. Sapek there to trade in what could potentially be the final round. If Fuzi whips out the dual barrettes at just the wrong time, both from Sky shuts him down, but Nilo is his auto sniper rings true. The rhythmic thumping of that gun ringing out is able to warn Lyngby Vikings as to what's to come, and well, as they push their way back, let's see who's able to come firm with LNZ shifting his way forward, pushing his way towards ramp, and with the what looks like overexposed push from Fascia is going to be caught out by LNZ. It's a 3-on-2 when Faral's aggressive towards ramp, can trade, that's an opening, but that will spur on the attack from CT because it does warn Young Ninjas as to the fact that maybe Vikings are playing this retake fairly passively. There's not a smoke, but there is a flash and nade to try and help clear the ramp players, and as maybe Vikings do double up towards this ramp position, the whole thing will be cleared by Nilo. He's acutely aware that it will be a double push towards ramp, and well, they're playing it beautifully on Lyngby Vikings. They're going to tap it once again. They'll look to stick it. And as they do so, it's beautiful by Sapek. Just like that, Young Ninjas take the game. And, well, even in overtime, they take the series 2-1. Beautiful stuff by them.
It's really bizarre, isn't it, that they throw away so many rounds. They allow Lyngby Vikings to pull it all the way back. And then going into OT, they just have a flawless affair. Hats off to them, though. Really great stuff. Young Ninjas, they do it 2-1. The map picks, they go the wrong way round, but they still prevail.
That they do. Beautiful stuff. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow. Are we back at the same time tomorrow?
We are, yeah.
Yeah, we're back at the same time tomorrow with
Last
some
day.
LOOT.BET action. Well, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. I'm Newcastle Crabaphy. I'm joined by the wonderful M and J. Hope you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful time, and I hope you don't have to deal with